Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start with the story of the ambulance man who found ways to get more money for overtime. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. And our first story, ambulance compliance. So this took place at two different workplaces. I'll start with place A, then place B. They were/are small ambulance bases. Place A is a small one-car service and Place B was a two-car service. This all involves overtime and being a pain in the boss's butt, not ever involving patient care. Place A was publicly funded, government-owned, and they really screwed us on pay. We had to either take $5 an hour on call or work as a care aide in an old folks' home, changing diapers and wiping butts at less than our EMS wages. The pay rules were interesting, such as X an hour for care aide, X plus 6 an hour for EMS work, such as unit checks and call-outs. OT was after 8 hours of work combined between care aide and EMS. The best part was OT was double time after midnight. There were many nights driving exceedingly slow, running out the clock until 1 minute passed to return to the base. Takes your 4-hour average call and turns it into 8 hours of pay. Place B was a private service owned by Scrooge Jr. I swear, one unit was at 550,000 plus kilometers on the odometer and still in service. Our boss rounded down to 15 minutes, so if you got back and restocked by 2114 hours, you were rounded to 2100 hours. There was one smoker on each crew, so the non-smoker would leave the base and be on call from home, while the smoker made sure to take their time with their cigarette and clock out 15 minutes after we got back. It wasn't that we were trying to swindle the boss, but get what we were entitled to, then push for a bit more as a jab to the boss. And our second story. Woke up the CEO at midnight because manager told me to. He wasn't happy. I was working IT for Safeway Corporate. Throughout the day, employees can submit for tech support by either calling the number or sending an email. And we mostly were a call center. The emails, called web tickets, would back up as everyone was busy on the phone. They would nominate a few agents to jump off the phones and call out on these emails we got. The average person would do 20 to 40 by the end of their shift. I got assigned to a special group assisting other tech specialists with telephony engineering issues. Phones don't work. We needed someone to work the night shift to help the night guys. I gladly volunteered. We got maybe 3 calls a night, and that was for general tech support. I helped with maybe one thing a week. My manager asked why I wasn't very busy at night, and I told him all the stores are closed except those in Hawaii, and we just don't have the same volume of calls. He tells me he wants to see me work web tickets at night. I work a few web tickets from 10 to 11 when I show up, and a few more from 5 to 6, but don't have much success at night, and morning stock crews want to put product on the shelves, not reboot a printer that's probably already working just fine. My manager calls me in saying that everyone works significantly more web tickets than I do, and he wants to see my numbers go up. I explained to him that the majority of the tickets are for stores that are closed or for our corporate office in California where execs are sleeping. He says he doesn't want excuses. So that night I call all 200 tickets. It isn't difficult and doesn't take long because no one answers. And I leave the typical voicemail explaining why I called and to please give us a call back. The next morning, my manager calls me in furious. Apparently high-level corporate execs called my manager personally, wanting to know why they were getting woken up in the middle of the night by tech support. My manager asks, "Did you call these people just to prove a point?" I could have said many things. "Just following orders, sir. Just doing my job. What did you expect? Do you know how dumb you look?" Instead, I simply replied, "Yup." His reply, "Well played." He no longer expected me to do web tickets at night. And our third story. You won the big prize. Staring. Popular girl, she's mean. Managers, mostly cool. Me as photo guy, mostly a D-head, but chill. When I was a younger man, I had my first job at a kid's play place. Think Chuck E. Cheese, but with better ball pits and really cool tubes and slides and a huge arcade game room. This place was amazing, and it was huge. Picture the size of a supermarket. The only downside was that there was this really pretty and popular girl that loved to make my and other people's lives miserable. Why? I don't know. Here's my story of revenge. The managers liked me, so they gave me one of the coolest jobs you could get at this place. I was assigned to the arcade game room. Now, this was not a room, more like the size of a small ranch house. But since it was my first job, I normally followed the job rules. But from time to time, I broke them. All a fellow employee had to do was ask, which brings us to why I sought revenge on the aforementioned girl to begin with. In the game room, we had prizes and candy, all sorts of cool stuff. We also had these claw machines that were filled with really primo candy and snacks. Now, I was always entrusted with the keys to this machine, mainly because I did a good job and kept it stocked. But as I said before, when a fellow ball pit soldier in arms asked me to grab them a sweet treat, I always obliged. I was, and still am, friendly like that. This girl that worked at the store was pretty and popular, and most of all, she knew it. She was never nice to people unless that were a manager or popular like she was. She would trash talk, make fun of people, purposely get out of doing the kids' birthday parties. They were a pain. Just in general, an unpleasant person all around. Well, one day, on her day off, mind you, she and her little minions come into the store. Can't quite remember what for, but I think it was because she needed to pick up her paycheck. Her and her friends came over to the game room, and I was busy dealing with kids that were redeeming their tickets for some cool prizes. Popular girl walks right up to me, in a state, and demands the keys to the claw machine that had all the snacks in it. I explained that I'm with people and to hold on a sec. She was not pleased by this one bit, and again demanded the keys. I again explained she's gonna have to wait, period. This vexed her greatly. I kept the keys normally in my pants pocket, but today I had them in my uniform shirt pocket. Popular girl noticed this and went to grab them out of my pocket, and I grabbed her hand as she was yanking them out. This girl was so spiteful and in need of candy that she dug her nails into my hand and ripped the shirt pocket a bit. So, not wanting to make a scene in front of the kids and her nails digging into my skin, I let go. She and her friends walked over and took a bunch of stuff from the machine. I was fuming. I can still remember the look on her face as she walked back, a smirk, the stick of a lollipop hanging out of her mouth that she'd just taken, and then the words, "Here you go, you can have your keys back, we don't need them anymore." Laughter. Now I know what you're thinking. She's fired. Talk to the manager, have him look at security tapes, scream at her. I did what I could after she left when I didn't have kids and adults around me. The manager did check the tape, couldn't see anything that she did, so nothing was done. I was upset, but as a 15-year-old guy, what was I going to do? Hit her? Have a screaming match? No, I figured I'd find my spot one day, and then I'd have my revenge. In my head as a teen, it was more like, B, you are going down. About 2 months later, my opportunity for revenge came. I'd played it cool after the game room incident. I acted indifferent towards her, didn't actively speak with her, but did when we had to have words about some work-related thing. At this job, mainly filled with teenagers, they have a very strict policy of, if you no-call, no-show, you are fired, period. Unless grandma or you dies, there was no valid excuse. So when popular girl came up to me in the break room and started speaking with me about a favor she needed, the wheels in my head started spinning. She wanted to go to a friend's party that Friday night. Cool, sounds like fun, I thought. But she was in a quandary about what to do as she worked from 4 to close, around 10:30, and I just so happened to have that day off. She asked me if I had plans. Of course I didn't. She asked me if I could cover her shift. Of course I could, and would. She asked me if I could cover her shift. Of course I could, and would. I could use the money. I was making $4.25 an hour. F, I'm old. She asked me if I would clear it with management for her. Of course I would do that. No worries. Go have fun, popular girl. You're owed a little fun every now and then. Well, as you can imagine, I didn't clear it with management. I didn't tell a soul. And I didn't come in to work on Friday night. Cut to Saturday afternoon when I work 12 to 8, I clock in and get called into the office right away. Photo guy, no sir, I was busy on Friday night. I didn't tell her I'd cover her shift. And if I had, I would have made sure the shift pickup was okay with you guys first. Wait, did she say I would pick up her shift? Manager. Okay, thanks for letting us know. Photo guy. Am I in trouble for something? Did I do something wrong? I don't want to get people mad at me. Manager. No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Needless to say, there were no witnesses to her asking or even speaking with me, no texts or emails, because again, I'm old and we didn't have that back then. So they didn't have any proof, other than her word versus mine. And why would I lie? Evil grin. She was fired that same day. I saw her leaving with some red eyes and sad goodbyes from her popular friends. Next time, if you want some candy or a tasty snack or a lollipop to suck on, just ask. And if I'm busy, just wait. I got you fired, popular girl, so suck on that instead. And our last story, getting rid of a mean manager. Worked a retail minimum wage job while in college at an office supply store. Had a manager that was incredibly mean and catty to me for no reason. Other managers had talks with her, but she never stopped. I guess she hated other women. Never found out why she was mean to me. Anyhow, after one day of her micromanaging and complaining about how everything I did was wrong, I had enough. Stores take those online surveys you submit very seriously, so when customers didn't need their receipts, I'd take them home and fill out surveys, either pretending to be a customer that oversaw her abusive nature to an employee, or as a customer that she'd been mean to. There would be a phone conference with corporate, she'd cry, treat me like a human being for a couple of days, then go back to being a C-word. So I'd submit another negative survey. This happened a few times, and it didn't take long for corporate to fire her. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.